3 years after the war, the galaxy still whispered humanity's name with fear. Not admiration. Not respect. Fear. The Dominion Empire had collapsed like rotten wood beneath a storm. Thousands of enslaved worlds declared independence within weeks of the final weapon's appearance. Entire sectors burned with revolutions. Old governments vanished overnight. Fleets once loyal to the Dominion turned against each other in desperation. And through it all, humanity remained strangely silent. No conquest. No expansion. No demands for power. Earth rebuilt quietly while the rest of the galaxy tried to understand what had happened. That silence terrified everyone more than war ever had. Because somewhere beyond known space, an ancient machine capable of erasing civilizations had spared humanity. No species could stop asking the same question. Why? Commander Elias Ward stood inside the rebuilt orbital station above Earth, watching construction drones repair the final scars left by the invasion. The station looked new now. Clean, bright, almost peaceful. But Ward knew peace was temporary. It always was. A young intelligence officer entered the observation deck carrying a data tablet. "You should see this, sir." Ward accepted it silently. The officer looked nervous. "That's the 7th report this month." Ward activated the file. A colony world near the outer Perseus arm had gone dark. No distress signal. No wreckage. No survivors. An entire settlement simply vanished. The same pattern appeared 6 times already. Different species. Different sectors. Always the same result. Empty worlds. Ward looked up slowly. Any evidence of Dominion remnants? None. Pirates. The officer shook her head. No energy signatures. No debris. It's like the populations disappeared. Ward's expression hardened. 3 years ago he would have blamed post-war chaos. Now he wasn't sure. "Send this to Dr. Chen," he ordered. "And prepare the long-range network." The officer hesitated. "You think it's connected?" Ward looked back toward Earth. "I think the galaxy's too quiet." Deep beneath the mountains of Antarctica, humanity's most classified facility remained hidden beneath kilometers of ice and stone. Project Sentinel. Officially, it did not exist. Inside the underground complex, Dr. Mira Chen walked quickly through crowded research halls while scientists argued around holographic displays. The room fell silent when she entered. Someone activated the latest transmission. A distorted video flickered above the table. An alien city appeared on screen. Empty streets. Flickering lights. Abandoned vehicles. No bodies. No destruction. Then the recording glitched violently. For half a second, something moved in the darkness. Tall. Thin. Wrong. The image vanished instantly. Chen froze. "Play that frame again." The technicians hesitated before slowing the footage. The figure reappeared. Even distorted, it looked unnatural. Its limbs seemed too long. Its shape shifted strangely, almost unstable. A scientist whispered nervously, "That can't be biological." Chen's stomach tightened. "No," she said quietly. "It isn't." The room stared at her. One of the researchers frowned. "You've seen this before." Chen didn't answer immediately. Because she had. Buried inside Europa's archives were references to something even the ancient humans feared. Not wars. Not rebellions. Predators. Civilizations throughout the old galaxy had disappeared long before humanity created the final weapon. Entire systems erased without explanation. Ancient records called them the Silence. Nobody knew where they came from. Nobody knew what they wanted. Only one thing was certain. Even ancient humanity failed to stop them. Chen looked around the room carefully. Seal this discussion under Omega classification. A scientist blinked nervously. You think this is related to the ancient archives? Chen nodded slowly. If I'm right, she whispered, the war never ended. Across the galaxy, another world died. No alarms sounded. No invasion fleets appeared. The colony simply stopped responding. Inside the darkened streets of the planet Arcturus 9, thousands of abandoned homes stood silent beneath heavy rain. Doors remained open. Meals still rested untouched on tables. Vehicles drifted aimlessly through empty roads. Like the population vanished mid-breath. Deep underground, emergency lights flickered inside a hidden shelter. A little girl sat alone beside her injured father. Daddy, she whispered, trembling. Are they gone? The man tried to answer, but pain twisted across his face. Blood covered one side of his uniform. Then they both heard it. Footsteps. Slow. Wet. The father grabbed a plasma pistol with shaking hands. The footsteps stopped outside the shelter door. Silence followed. Then a voice spoke softly from the darkness. Found you. The shelter door bent inward like paper. The father fired instantly. Blue plasma exploded across the corridor. The thing outside did not move. The smoke cleared. And the girl screamed. Because the creature standing there wore a human face. But only the face. Everything else shifted constantly beneath pale skin. Bones moved wrong. Limbs stretched unnaturally. Its eyes were endless black voids. The father kept firing until the weapon overheated. The creature tilted its head curiously. You still resist, it whispered. Then the lights died. By the time Earth received the final transmission from Arcturus 9, the colony was already dead. Commander Ward listened to the recording in absolute silence. Screams echoed briefly. Gunfire. Then nothing. The transmission ended. Dr. Chen stood across from him inside Project Sentinel's command chamber. Ward finally spoke. What are we dealing with? Chen activated ancient files recovered from Europa. Millions of years old. Ancient human symbols covered the displays. The silence isn't a species, she explained quietly. It's more like an infection. Images appeared. Dead worlds. Consumed cities. Distorted creatures. They infiltrate civilizations slowly, Chen continued. They imitate biological life. Replace populations. Spread system by system. Ward frowned. And ancient humanity couldn't stop them. Chen's face darkened. They tried. The hologram shifted again. Entire galaxies burned. Stars detonated intentionally. Ward stared in disbelief. They destroyed whole systems. They believed extinction was preferable to assimilation. Silence filled the room. Ward looked toward her carefully. How bad is this? Chen answered immediately. If the silence is truly back, she paused. Humanity may not survive a second time. At that exact moment, every screen inside Project Sentinel turned blue. The room froze instantly. Ward's pulse accelerated. He recognized that color. The final weapon. Its voice echoed across the chamber. Threat detected. Chen stepped forward immediately. You know about the silence? Yes. Ward stared upward. Where are you? Observing. The same cold voice. The same impossible presence. Ward felt relief and terror simultaneously. If you know what this is, help us stop it. A long silence followed. Then, direct intervention remains prohibited. Ward slammed his fist against the console. Billions will die. Yes. Chen narrowed her eyes. Why won't you act? The answer chilled everyone in the room. Because the silence adapts. New images appeared across the screens. Ancient battle footage. The final weapon destroying entire fleets. Then the same corrupted creatures returning stronger. Learning. Evolving. The more advanced the opposition, the weapon explained, the faster the silence evolves. Ward slowly understood. You're saying if you fight them directly, they will eventually become capable of consuming me. The room fell silent. Even the final weapon feared the silence. That realization terrified everyone. Chen crossed her arms tightly. Then why contact us at all? The weapon answered immediately. Because humanity succeeded once. Ward frowned. What? A single image appeared. Ancient humans standing beside colossal machines. The galaxy before its collapse. Humanity created the first containment. Chen stared in disbelief. You mean the final weapon? No. The screen changed again. A structure appeared floating in deep space. Enormous. Circular. Impossible. Ward whispered softly. What is that? The weapon's voice became quieter. The grave. Silence filled the chamber. The silence cannot truly die, the weapon explained. Only containment prevents expansion. Chen's expression slowly changed. You locked him away. Yes. Ward looked toward the image. Then what happened? A pause. Then, humanity forgot. 3 days later, the United Earth Assembly held the first emergency galactic summit in human history. Representatives from hundreds of liberated species arrived in orbit around Earth. Many came reluctantly. Some openly hated humanity. But all of them feared extinction more. The massive chamber buzzed with arguments as projections displayed the missing colonies. An insectoid ambassador slammed his claws against the podium. This is humanity's fault. Several delegates shouted agreement immediately. You awakened ancient horrors. You brought the machine back. Now the galaxy suffers. Ward stood silently at the center of the chamber while the accusations spread. Finally he spoke. You think blaming humanity matters right now? The room quieted slightly. Ward activated the recovered footage from Arcturus 9. The distorted creature appeared again. Moving wrong. Smiling unnaturally. Several delegates recoiled in horror. Ward's voice hardened. That thing doesn't care who started the war. It doesn't care what species you are. If we don't stop it, every civilization here dies. An elderly Velari representative spoke softly. How many systems infected? Chen answered from the control platform. Confirmed. 12. Murmurs spread instantly. Estimated. Chen continued quietly. Far more. Silence returned. A reptilian warlord glared toward the humans. And your ancient machine refuses to fight. Ward nodded. It claims direct intervention will make the enemy stronger. Quote. The chamber erupted angrily again. One delegate shouted. Then we are already doomed. Another voice answered from above. Not necessarily. Every light dimmed instantly. The final weapon appeared as a massive holographic figure towering over the assembly. Panic spread immediately. Several guards aimed weapons before realizing the absurdity. The weapon ignored them. The silence evolves through adaptation, it explained. Advanced technologies accelerate assimilation. A projection appeared beside it. Primitive civilizations resisting successfully for short periods. Guerrilla warfare. Low technology traps. Biological resistance. Ward slowly understood. You're saying simpler methods work better. Yes. An alien general laughed bitterly. You expect us to fight galaxy-consuming horrors with primitive weapons. The weapon's glowing eyes focused on him. Ancient humanity survived because they learned a critical truth. The room waited silently. The weapon continued. Perfection is predictable. Chen whispered softly. And humanity never was. The weapon turned toward her. Correct. A new strategy emerged over the following weeks. No centralized fleets. No massive AI systems. No advanced automated warfare. Humanity deliberately abandoned its strongest technologies. Because the silence consumed patterns, predictability, systems. So humanity became chaotic. Independent strike teams spread across infected sectors. Fleets operated without network synchronization. Soldiers used constantly changing tactics impossible to anticipate. Every species called the plan insane. Humanity called it survival. Commander Ward led the first expedition personally. Their destination was Arcturus 9, the dead colony. As their ship descended through storm clouds, the silence felt unnatural. No radio traffic, no lights, no movement, just endless rain falling across abandoned cities. Ward's team moved carefully through empty streets. Soldiers gripped old-style ballistic weapons instead of plasma rifles. Simpler technology, harder to corrupt. A Marine whispered nervously, "This place feels wrong." Ward agreed. The air itself felt heavy. Watching. Then they found the bodies. Or what remained of them. Human and alien corpses fused into twisted organic structures lining the walls of buildings. Flesh moved slowly even after death. Black veins pulsed beneath pale skin. One soldier vomited instantly. Chen knelt beside a corpse scanner. "They're rewriting biology," she whispered. A voice echoed nearby. "Still learning." The team spun around instantly. A woman stood at the end of the street, smiling. Her appearance looked normal except for her eyes. Pure black. Ward raised his weapon immediately. "Don't move." The woman tilted her head strangely. "Humanity returns." Her voice sounded layered, like many voices speaking simultaneously. Chen stepped backward carefully. "It's using her body." The creature smiled wider. "Bodies are temporary." Then dozens of figures emerged from surrounding buildings. Men, women, children, all smiling. All wrong. Ward realized something horrifying. The silence wasn't invading worlds. It was wearing them. The creatures began walking forward slowly. Ward opened fire first. Ballistic rounds tore through the nearest bodies. Several collapsed instantly. Others kept moving despite missing limbs. The team retreated quickly down the street. More infected appeared everywhere. Hundreds. Then thousands. The entire city was alive with them. A Marine shouted desperately, "How many people were on this colony?" Chen answered breathlessly, 2 million. Ward looked behind them. Every street overflowed now. The infected moved unnaturally fast, bodies twisting violently as they ran. Then they started speaking together. Millions of voices unified across the city. "You cannot stop evolution." The sound echoed like thunder. Ward's team barely reached extraction before the horde overwhelmed the landing zone. The shuttle launched through swarms of infected climbing over each other like insects. One creature smashed against the cockpit glass mid-ascent. Its face split open unnaturally. And it whispered directly to Ward, "We remember you." Then it fell back toward the burning city below. Silence filled the shuttle. Finally Chen spoke quietly. "That wasn't random." Ward nodded slowly. "No." The silence recognized humanity. Which meant one terrifying thing. The ancient war was returning. Back on Earth, panic worsened after footage from Arcturus 9 leaked publicly. Entire populations demanded planetary quarantines. Some worlds cut themselves off completely from galactic travel. Others blamed humanity entirely. Riots erupted across several colonies. And through it all, the final weapon remained absent. Watching. Waiting. Ward stood inside Project Sentinel staring at ancient records while Chen analyzed biological samples from the infected. Neither had slept in nearly 2 days. Finally Chen looked up. "I found something." Ward approached immediately. She displayed microscopic scans of infected tissue. Black cellular structures spread through the samples like living code. They're not replacing DNA, Chen explained. They're rewriting it. Ward frowned. Can it be reversed? Chen hesitated, then quietly answered, I don't know. An alarm suddenly erupted through the facility. Both of them turned instantly. An officer's voice echoed overhead. Unknown transmission entering system. Ward rushed toward the command center. Every screen displayed the same image. A distorted humanoid figure. Its body shifted constantly beneath static. Then it spoke. Humanity. The voice sounded layered and broken. Ward stepped forward carefully. What are you? The figure smiled unnaturally. You already named us. The silence. Yes. Chen stared coldly at the screen. What do you want? The creature's smile widened. Completion. Ward crossed his arms. You consume civilizations. We unify them. You erase individuality. We remove suffering. Ward felt anger rising. You call this mercy? The creature's face twitched violently. You fear evolution because you cling to identity. Chen suddenly asked quietly, why humanity? The figure paused. Then every screen flickered violently. When it spoke again, the voice sounded almost human. Because you were closest. Silence consumed the room. Ward felt dread settle into his chest. What does that mean? The creature leaned closer toward the screen. Ancient humanity nearly became us. Chen's face went pale. The transmission ended instantly. Nobody spoke for several seconds. Then Ward whispered, that's impossible. But Chen wasn't listening anymore. Because she remembered something buried deep inside Europa's archives. Ancient records describing humanity's final years before collapse. Descriptions of biological transcendence. Collective consciousness experiments. Evolution beyond individuality. Humanity had not merely fought the silence. At some point long ago, humanity may have helped create it. Outside Earth's orbit, stars burned quietly above the recovering world. And somewhere deep within the darkness between galaxies, the final weapon awakened fully for the first time in millions of years. Because the calculations had changed. The silence was spreading faster than predicted. Containment probabilities were collapsing. And for the first time since ancient humanity vanished, the final weapon began preparing for extinction protocols. Not against the silence. Against everything.